Madison Rigby, and I'm the head teacher here at St John Fisher. Just over to my right is Mrs Jane Stanton. She is head of Year 7, and she's also head of transition here at St John Fisher. And what that means is that she looks after children moving up from primary school, Year 6, into transitioning into high school. She's very good at it. So she makes sure that all the activities to help prepare your child to moving up to the big school are done smoothly, carefully and sensitively. So if you've got any questions this evening, either ask myself or Mrs Stanton after you've heard what I've got to say. Also joining me is our head girl, Madison, and our head boy, James. And if I remember, because I forgot a couple of slides last time, Madison, we'll introduce Madison and James, and we can say a little bit about their experiences so far at St John Fisher. Sadly, they won't be with us this time next year. But anyway, moving on. So welcome to St John Fisher opening. I hope you've already had an opportunity to wander around our school. Thought we'll chat at once, yes. And see some of our classrooms, and then you're probably going to continue on having a wander around our school and getting a sense of what it is about. First and foremost, we are a Catholic school. And as you've been wandering around our school, you've probably seen, hello, yeah, hi. You've probably seen different images around our school, because we are distinctively different. We're not like Rosebridge, we're not like Dean's Trust Wigan, we're not like Shevington High School or Stanwich, because we are a faith school. And so we have icons of crucifixes, we have images of statues of men, we have our mission statement around school, we have a chapel. Some of you may have already been in our school chapel, where our chaplain, Rebecca, resides and stays all the time. But it's a place where you can go to pray, it's a place where you can just sit and be quiet, and it's also a place where we run some of our community groups as well. But we are a Catholic school. And the difference also is that we recognise that every child is unique, every child is different. Our mission statement is learning together as a community in Christ, and that encapsulates everything that we do. Your child is not the same as their brother and sister, even though they may be brought up in the same household. Your child may be an excellent footballer or rugby player, or actor, or dancer, or gymnast, or be able to play a musical instrument, or be able to read really well. That's their talent. But there are some children, or some of your children, who might not yet have discovered what their talent is, what their potential is. And as a Catholic school, it's our duty to pull out what that talent is, to pull out that potential, to help those young people discover themselves. And you may say, well, the Dean's Trust Wigan does that, or Shevington High School does that, or Dean does that. But we do it with love, we do it with faith, and we do it by going the extra mile for your child, day in, day out, relentlessly, till they leave our school in year 11. And so what we expect from our children, and we would expect from your child when they come to our school, is first of all, we're in the business of education. We're in the business, folks, of learning. So if you love to learn, you're in the right place. Your child is going to leave us with excellent GCSE results. The best results that they could get for themselves. And for some of you in here, it will be grade 8s, grade 9s, which is the top, best excellence grade you can get. And for some of you in here, it may be grade 2 and grade 3, but you know what? You work your socks off for it. And you are proud of that grade. But most importantly is what we do for learning is we make sure it is at the right pace, it is appropriate for young people, and it enables them to move on to their next stage. So they can move on to St John Rigby College and do A-levels, or a BTEC, or they can move on to Wigan and Lee and do vocational qualifications or an apprenticeship, or Winstanley College. And it was only the other day, I was driving into school quite a bit later, and I saw a couple of our young people, there's a few of them, but there were 3 that had been in this, what we would call alternative curriculum group, that we knew at the time couldn't access GCSEs because they're really hard GCSEs. And these young people would have found it really difficult, so we had an alternative qualification called the NOCF. These 3 young people, who were about to be 12, but these 3, were catching the bus on their own, and they were going to either Expanse in Lee, St John Rigby, or I think they were going, I think the other one was actually going to Winstanley. We enabled that, we helped them, We gave them the confidence, we gave them the resilience by making sure that they had the appropriate qualifications, they had the right curriculum. Do you know what? And that they were taught well and they were developed as people. So learning is really, really important because I saw nearly every year 11 as we had the results days in quite slap bang in the middle of the summer holidays. And they were all, every year 11, walked out through the gate here as they collected the results. And I spoke to every year 11 as they left to say, good luck, where are you going, what are you doing? And your child is going to be coming to us and joining the Fisher family. Yeah, that's what we say, it's part of the Fisher family. Hopefully you've already got that sense of it now. And I said to every child when we went, don't forget where we are if you need us, for anything, because you'll always be part of the Fisher family. We've given you those qualifications, we've helped you choose something. Now go out into the world and make it a better place. Don't forget we're here if you need us. It never leaves them. And so next, what we expect from our children is challenge. And so we want them to work hard. We want them to make sure that they are challenged at the right level as well, and that it's not too difficult, but it's not too easy. And then lastly, all our children in this school flourish. And what I mean by that is, if you send your child to our school, they will grow. They will grow physically and money. I mean, my son's in year 10 now, he's about a foot taller than I am. But they grow, and they grow into decent human beings because they're educated well through a curriculum that's appropriate for them. But they're also educated morally, spiritually, and socially, so that they know the difference between right and wrong. And they know how to speak to adults, and they know how to speak and talk appropriately. So they will flourish. And I could wax lyrical about our school. I'll be gone for ages, of course I would. You know, I'm a head teacher here. But Ofsted, who live in the Longstaff, we're a good school. And the Archdiocesan report, the Section 48 report, that looks at our religious aspect, our faith life of the school. Well, we are an outstanding Catholic school. Those reports are actually available on our website if you want to read them. If you want some bedtime reading, okay, let me just explain to you about our Year 7 curriculum. So, your child comes to us next September. These are all the subjects that we study. It's a long list, Year 6, isn't it? There might be some activities in there or subjects that you've not come across before. Food technology or computer science or design technology. What I'd like to draw your attention to is art, dance, drama and music. Your child will be taught that one of those, each one of those, so an hour a week of drama, an hour a week of dance, an hour a week of music, an hour a week of art, as well as English, maths, science, RE and languages. Because it's really important that they get the regularity of those types of subjects. It develops the creative side, it develops their imagination, and it develops the confidence. Hopefully you'll see that in Madison and James when I speak to you in a moment. Madison, can I ask you to come and share your experience at St John Fisher today?
Good evening. So my name is Madison and I'm head girl at St John Fisher. Over the past 4 years, this school has helped me develop from a shy, quiet girl coming from St Jude's Primary School into a confident, well-spoken individual. Due to the constant support system the staff around me has offered through anything from COVID-19 lockdowns and isolations to exams, I'm able to succeed both in the classroom and out. Currently I study history, geography and French for my GCSE options, and I'm interested in choosing the subjects history, law and politics at colleges like St John Rigby or Winstanley. I aspire to focus on history as a career path as I've been thoroughly interested with this subject since I was very young. And whilst I might not fully know the exact career I'd like to proceed with, this school has given me the skill set and drive necessary to go on and be successful with college and university and achieve everything I want to achieve in life. I've enjoyed my time at this school very much and I'm grateful for every opportunity I've been granted. During the last 4 years, I've been offered programs and experiences, for example, the WAVE program with St John Rigby that has allowed me to prepare for the future. Even the smaller things, like being involved with the school council, has helped me improve my confidence in speaking out to others. At St John Fisher, every child has the opportunity to get involved, with a wide range of extracurricular activities from sports such as rugby, trampolining, football and dance, to science clubs, school shows and a school choir, many of which I've been involved with throughout my time here. Whilst I'm sure every school representing itself wants one thing that really makes our school special is that extra step that teachers take to support their pupils. The school atmosphere truly does reflect our mission statement, learning together as a community in Christ. This can often be a crucial time for parents when deciding where to send your child for the next 5 years. But whilst I stand in front of you today, one thing I can assure you is no matter the background or academic strength, St John Fisher is a place that changes people's lives, where your child will be surrounded by amazing staff and supportive peers, molding them into respectful young adults. Thank you for listening.
So I'd just like to explain a little bit more about the faith experience that your child will have whilst they're at St John Fisher. Well, first and foremost, there's a faith in action group. And what that is if your child wants to do some community work, wants to be involved in some charity work, it's an award system that's run through the chapel, bronze, silver and gold it is, that they get certificates for and a little badge for if they're interested in that. We have monthly Mass here in the O'Brien Hall. We also have Feast Day Mass, so the Feast of St John Fisher is on the 22nd of June. We normally have a Mass in the Sports Hall, or if the church is available, down at St Tar, as year groups who will go down there to celebrate Mass. Currently, well not at this moment in time, but in school time, the Year 7s are having their retreat with the Liverpool Anime Youth Group. It's kind of a fun day that they can spend with Father Simon in our chapel and just do some more transition activities. We have daily collective worship every day when they go into their form time, and we've got lots of charity work. And like I said to Mrs. Stanton before, we can do a really, really good cake sale. If there's not a week goes by without having a cake sale at St John Fisher, and the cakes, unbelievable. In fact, in a couple of weeks we've got Yellow Day. We raise a lot of money for charities locally, but something that is really important to us is the Young Minds mental health charity. And so the Yellow Day, I think on the 8th of October, is going to be wear something yellow and then make a donation. We'll have a cake sale, send the excuse to have a cake, and hopefully raise some vital funds for that charity. And then lastly, dogs. Okay, we have 2 dogs in school. They're not with us this evening because it would have been a little bit too busy for them with lots of people to and froing. 2 therapy dogs. I was a little bit sceptical at first, thinking dogs in school, and I do have 3 of my own, but thought, that's a bit strange. It's the best decision we've ever made. The effect that an animal has on school site, please don't misunderstand it, they don't run around everywhere. Going into classrooms, they're kept in the hub or in inclusion provision, and they are kept on a lead, and there are special guidelines if you have a therapy dog in school. But in order to support children in accessing and trying to articulate their thoughts and their feelings, trying to calm them down or helping them make friends, it's invaluable. And also for the staff too, it just strengthens the community. So that dog there, sitting there in his sun lift, that's Arlo. He's a cockapoo, and he lives in the Pastoral hub just here. And lots of children take him for walks at break time and lunchtime. In fact, he's exhausted by the end of the day. And then we have another therapy dog. He's called Monty. He's a golden retriever, and he's up in our inclusion provision. The pastoral life and support in our school is very, very strong. When I spoke about going the extra mile for our children, and Madison spoke about the extra step that we do, that's what makes us different as well as a faith school. We've got a pastoral hub that is manned by non-teaching staff, and there's a member of non-teaching staff allocated to every year group, and that's for your child that they know it's the go-to place if they ever have any sort of problem, from a lost timetable to being lost, they can't find their bag, somebody's recently died or they've fallen out with a friend, anything to upset children. They know to go to the hub and that they'll be listened to, they'll be put back together again. Whatever the problem is, will be addressed, supported, and we can get that back onto learning. Okay, however, we need to make sure that reading is really, really addressed here at school, and that we encourage a reading for pleasure culture. Put your hand up if you like reading. Who likes to hold the book? Okay, hands down, that's a good show of hands. And that's the thing, what we want to do is people say, oh, read the books. It doesn't matter what you read, whether it's a newspaper, a Kindle, an iPad, a book, a comic, it doesn't matter, but as long as you are reading, it is a very, very good skill to develop, and you need it for future success. But what we want is children to just pick up a book or whatever, anything, and just read anyway because they love doing it. And so every child has a reading book in school, and if they can't get a reading book from home, then we supply one here in school. There's a widely stocked library that you might have been in already. And then we also expect children, when they go into their lessons, about 5 minutes into their lesson, they just sit and read for 5 minutes while the register's being taken, or the teacher's just sorting out activities, so that they can settle down. And then when your child comes into our school, so oh no, you are. So when your child comes into our school in year 7, they'll do some reading tests, the national reading test, and they'll also do accelerated reader. The reading test gives us an indication of their reading age. And if we feel that their reading age is below what it should be, i.e. that if they're 11, it should be 11, then we will implement some form of intervention to improve their reading skills. Now, unfortunately, there are some children in our current year 7, in fact there are some in year 8, who all have a reading age of 5, which of course is significantly below what their chronological age is, because of 11. And so we have a phonics intervention for what we call early readers. Because if those children only have a reading age of 5, and then if they've not been intervened and been taught properly to read with them, how can we expect them to read GCSE texts or textbooks? We need to make sure that we get the confidence in reading the book first, and then they can access the curriculum. But likewise, if we have people who love reading, who love the written word, we have an accelerated reader program that, again, every child does a little quiz on that gives them a score. And then if you went into the library and seen they've all like different stickers on books, you get a score in accelerated reader, and it tells you, right, you're level 5, so you go and read all the books that are yellow in the library. If you're level 6, you go and read all the green books in the library that's got a sticker on. And it means that children are accessing books at their right level. They're not opening a book that's full of words and thinking, can't read that, putting it back down again, or flicking through it in 5 minutes because they've read it in no time. It's a book that's appropriate for their age and their ability. And again, building the confidence in reading. But we've also got some wide and wonderful classics and some high-end IQ magazines, etc., for those really high-level readers in school. But we love our children to read. So, your child's in year 9, okay? Imagine that. 3-4 years from now, and it will soon pass by. At St John Fisher, we have a Key Stage 3 of 3 years. I think that's really important. Other high schools may have a Key Stage 3 in just 2 years, and the child there's options at the end of year 9. That doesn't give a child enough time to have to build a foundation of solid curriculum knowledge in order to study GCSE in year 10 and 11. GCSEs in year 10 and 11 are a lot broader and deeper than they've ever been now. There's loads of content. So we want to make sure our children are prepared to study that with the relevant study skills, with the relevant knowledge and understanding. So they choose their options in year 9. Children still have to do maths, English, science, RE, and 1 lesson of PE week, but they can choose 3 subjects from those lists there. James is going to talk a little bit more later about sociology and what is on offer in his course. And there are also, like we just spoke about those children before who are waiting for the bus down the avenue, there's a bespoke vocational curriculum for those children that may not be able to access GCSEs, and we do have some of those children in school, that they have an alternative curriculum that's right for them, that's right for their level. It's called entry-level qualifications, or NOCM. But every GCSE, every curriculum lesson is pitched at the right, appropriate level for your child's ability. So that's the curriculum. But school doesn't finish at 3 o'clock here at St John Fisher. There's a load of stuff that you can get involved in outside of school. So if you are sporty, then there's a whole host of sporting activities here that you can get involved in. Clubs, training sessions, and societies and teams that you might want to play for. Can I just ask James to just come up and share his experience?
Good evening, I'm James. I'm the current head boy at St John Fisher Catholic High School. Now, I've been going to this school for a little over 4 years now, which is a bit crazy to say since 2 minutes ago I feel like I was doing my icebreaker tasks in year 7. I've come a long way since then, and it's only thanks to the support given to me by my teachers and peers who have pushed me to do my best, to speak up and have the confidence I have today. Even through times when people felt down and unmotivated, especially during lockdown. The teachers never gave up and kept pushing on to ensure that some virus isn't going to jeopardise our education. Currently, I'm studying triple science, drama and sociology for my option GCSEs. Sociology? Yeah, that's correct. St John Fisher has recently implemented GCSE level sociology. Fun fact, the only other school to do this is way out in Leyland, so we're pretty unique in that matter. For my future, I'm looking to study biology, chemistry and psychology at A-level at either St John Rigby or Stanley College. The end goal is to become a psychiatrist, but one day people will refer to me as Dr. Compton. I understand this dream will only become true through blood, sweat and tears. However, through the teaching I have received at my time at St John Fisher and the people I have met will prepare and motivate me to push myself further. Now, as Mrs. Rigby said, this school does not stop at 3 p.m. when that bell rings. As a school, St John Fisher offers a wide variety of extracurricular activities, from rugby, football and netball teams to trampolining, dance and drama clubs. Oh, fun doesn't stop there, as St John Fisher has its very own choir, which performs during our masses and our trips down to the Sacred Heart Church where we give our thanks to God. As you look at the walls here at the O'Brien Hall, you'll see school shows dating as far back as 2007, and most of you weren't even born. These shows are a large part of our school's culture and offer students to build friendships across the year groups and show their talent to parents and peers. Do I know if you'll be joining our community? No, not at all. But what I can say for certain is that if you do, the memories you make will follow you to wherever your life journey takes you. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you all have a good evening.
Performing arts opportunities, if you're a great singer, actor, etc. And what you can get involved with at St John Fisher, and of course you can see this is the place where the magic happens, as it were. But if you just look really closely, it's not thanking this. The slide where the person is having their ears pulled is actually James when he was in year 8. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it's the last production that we have. James is now in year 11, but we're hoping that we're going to do a production in the summer, aren't we? So yes, that was Matilda. Just behind him is Arthur, who was trudgeful. James was absolutely fantastic in it. It was really very, very entertaining. But yes, get involved. Get involved. Okay, so as well as everything that is going on in our current school, some of you may or may not be aware that, of course, our school is going to be moving. Okay, we are going to be moving into a new building. That new building is still going to be on this site, and we're very particular about that we still want it to be in this community. And so starting in early 2022, a new St John Fisher School building is going to start construction. And what's going to happen as we wander around school at the moment is that there are 3. There is going to be one super block that is going to be built just up there where block A is now. It will probably come down to where Mrs. Stanton is standing, a 3-story block. And there's also going to be a separate sports hall that will be between us and Sacred Heart down near the grey fence as it is now. And in the sports hall, or the sports facility, there will be a full sports hall, full-size sports hall, a dance studio and a fully equipped fitness studio with all the fitness suite with all the fitness equipment. And then in the super block, there's 3 floors. That's where all the classrooms will be, just in one school, with obviously light, airy classrooms of a decent size, science laboratories with brand new equipment and apparatus, art classrooms that have got an aspect looking up to the top of Daintree Road, a huge, massive atrium in the middle that houses a drama studio, a dining hall, and the chapel, and then light and airy and safe corridors. But to give you a little more insight to that, this is what St John Fisher new school is going to look like. in our school. When they return in year 9, for their year 9, they will be returning into a full school. Okay? The building will be done in stages, and it will start in January, February next year by constructing a temporary school, only one block down on the netball courts, so that they can demolish that block, but all the rest of the school will stay, and they'll do it in phases. They will start to build the sports hall first, which is down on the bottom playground. So probably midway through your child's year 8, they'll have a brand new sports facility, quite like 2 sports halls at that point, which we're really looking forward to. So your child will be through that process, will be experiencing that process, and then obviously will be studying for their GCSEs while they're in the brand new facility. But you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, how are we going to manage all that? We've designed that, we've gone through that process, and it's very exciting for us, but we still have to educate the children. They still have to get qualifications and be educated. So first of all, what I really need you to know is that we are a very organised school, okay? Very highly organised. We have systems, expectations, policies, procedures, to the letter, and it runs like clockwork. That's the first thing, okay? So we're very well organised. We anticipate, hang on a minute, at the senior leadership level, we think that's going to happen, that could happen, that eventuality. Let's make sure that we've got enough communication and a strong and clear communication with our staff, with our pupils and with our parents, so everybody knows what's happening, when and why we're doing it. That's really important. Okay? Secondly, safeguarding is our priority. So even though spaces will be cordoned off, there are very strong terms and conditions and safeguarding expectations for contractors on site, especially for health and safety. So we will adapt our school site to make sure your child remains safe and make sure that they can access all the classrooms that they need and the lessons that they need as well. And what we didn't know until we've gone through this process and started to build is actually the opportunities that your child will experience being part of the new build. There will be many, many, many site visits. Children will be allowed on site with the hard hats to go and see the school being physically built, going into the shell of the school and exploring how it's built and the science behind the ventilation. It's going to be a net zero build. That in itself, the science behind that is incredible. Construction isn't just about, as I'm realising now, bricks and cement. It's a science. And so your child will have the experience to be involved in that, but also have the experience of being asked, do you know what chairs should we have? What desks should we have? What displays should we have on that wall? What do you want the canteen to look like? How should we be in the drama studio? So they're going to be involved and questioned on what should be within the school. And the other thing is as well is, we didn't know this at the time, but we do now, is that the contractors, which is our weights contractors, weights construction, who are going to build that school, are going to invest in the local community. So they're looking for local businesses, steel contractors, building firms, engineering firms, to actually be contracted out to be involved in the build. So please look on our website for those contact details if you are in that profession. But what I need to reassure you of is that your child's education will not be disrupted. They are here to learn, they are here to be taught, they are here to enjoy school, they will be part of history while they're being instructed, but your child's learning will not be disrupted. However, buildings don't educate children. The people in them educate the children, and I hope that while you've wandered around our school already, you'll have got a sense about what the people in our school community are about, how they relate to one another, how they're kind to one another, respectful, and have those high expectations. And so hopefully you've got a sense already of the caring and Catholic Christian ethos, that we do have high standards of work and behaviour. We have to have, because we want to get the best out of every child all the time. Children make mistakes, but we are a faith school, we are a Catholic school, and we do forgive, and we do recognise that they are teenagers and they're sorry, and we move on. We have high academic expectations, and we want your child to do the best that they possibly can do in order to move on to their next step in education. We're aspirational for your children, and also there's a wonderful array of extracurricular stuff that your child can do after school to get involved, to join in. And of course we have experienced, supportive and innovative staff that go the extra mile for your child. So, you'd like your child to come to St John Fisher, so let me go over some operational or logistical things about applying to our school. First and foremost, I have to make it clear that any child from any background, from any faith, can apply for our school. So if you're wandering around and thinking, well, we're not Catholic, so we can't come here, that's not the case, okay? But if you are, if you're not Catholic and you're not being baptised, then please put us as first preference. We are a growing school, okay? And we have 200, our pupil admission number is 200 every year. Now, current year 7 have 210 at the minute. Year 8 have 205, I think, was it 9? Oh no, and year 9 have 209, year 8 have 204. So we are bursting at the seams. And year 10 and 11 we've got like 199 and 197. So we're filling up. And the reason why we're over pan is because we've lost appeals to come to this place. So it's a popular school to apply to. But if you're not baptised, please do not be put off if you want your child to come here. Apply to us, put us as first preference, and please, each and every one of you, everyone who applies to our school, must fill in one of these forms. This is a supplementary faith form that we do because we are a faith school, okay? And whether you're baptised or not, please fill it in and return it to us. If you are baptised, if you're a baptised Catholic, fill it in, do a copy of the baptismal certificate and attach it onto it, okay? If you've been christened into any other religion, then get proof of that and attach it onto it. If you're not Catholic or baptised, then write on, I'm not, but you might go to one of our feeder primaries, St William's, St Heart, St Cuthbert, St Patrick's, St Jude's, St Mary's and St John's, and that puts you higher up our admissions criteria, okay, if you're at a Catholic primary school. Please fill that in. If you want to fill it in tonight, you've got the evidence with you, or you want to fill it in and you have got the evidence, as you walk out through the main door, there's a little silver tray. Just stick it on there. It shows us that you exist. And when we get the ranking list from Wigan Council, and we've got this form, we can make sure we put you in the proper place for when we apply places. Okay? So if you've got any questions about that, please ask myself or Mrs. Stanton on the way out. Then you all got this little postcard. It's like track and trace, isn't it? And on here, when you scan anything, it takes you to all the sites that you need all the information on. Okay? All this process, folks, has to be done by the 31st of October. On Monday, I spent all day in appeals for people wanting to come to our school. It took me all day. And that is because some of those appeals were applied for after the 31st of October. If you don't get your application in by then, they will send you anywhere you go. Simply put, you'll go anywhere. So even though you may live in this area, they may send you to Abington to school. So please, fill everything in by the 31st of October. If you need any help with that, okay, if you email admissions@sjf.wigan.sch.uk, Mrs. Maloney will help you with that process. Okay. And so just to finish on the fact that St John Fisher is an outstanding Catholic school. And if you are with us, if you get what I'm talking about, if you want that for your children, that you want them to be challenged, that you want them to flourish, that you want them to be taught well and learn really, really well and leave with excellent qualifications to help them move on to the next stage. If you want them to know the difference between right and wrong, and if you want them to have the right moral standing and behave well and be confident, and you want to work with us on that, then we welcome your application to St John Fisher, because your children will flourish here. Yes, it's going to be busy, yes, it's going to be a challenge, but your child's education will not suffer. So thank you for listening tonight. Thank you so much for coming. It's full in here, so I'm not going to talk anymore. Please